Okay, so you might be surprised to find out that your answer to what appears to be a pretty simple math question here is not going to be correct. So be careful with this question, but let's take a look at the problem. It is the following. The distance between two numbers on a number line is 19. One number is 8. What is the other number? All right, now feel free to use a calculator, but if you can figure this out, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. I'll share the correct answer in just 1 second. Then, of course, I'm going to walk through exactly how to solve this problem step by step. And the key word here is obviously distance. And we're talking about distance from a mathematics standpoint. But before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John, and I have been teaching middle and high school math for decades. And if you need help learning math, check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, or if you just enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. All right, so let's take another look at the problem before I show you the answer. So the distance between two numbers on a number line is 19. One number is 8. What is the other number? Now, some of you out there might be saying, hey, Mr. YouTube Math Man, this is a trick question, isn't it? Well, yes, indeed, you're kind of onto something because the answer is not another number. There's actually two numbers, right? So the question is, what is the other number? Well, we actually have two numbers as the answer. So if you picked up on that, that is fantastic. And let's take a look at the correct answer. The correct answer is negative 11 and 27. Now, I think most people probably guessed 27 as their answer, and that is one of the numbers, but this is only 50% of the total answer. You also need negative 11. All right, now if you got both of these numbers, that is fantastic, and you definitely get a happy face and an A plus. So congratulations, because it seems to me that you know a thing or two about distance between numbers on a number line. All right, now this is not that difficult, and let's go ahead and get into it right now. And obviously, we are talking about distance, but we're also talking about a number line. So I think a good starting point here is to review a basic number line, and then we'll talk about distance in just 1 second, and of course, we'll solve the problem. All right, so what is a number line? Well, here is a basic number line. And we're talking about the set of real numbers. Now, I don't want to get all technical and whatnot, but this is important stuff, especially for those of you that are studying, I would say like pre-algebra and beyond. But let's just do a quick review of the type of numbers that are on this number line, and then we'll talk about distance. All right, so there is a subset of numbers within the total span of the real number set, and that's what this is right here. And the first numbers is what we call the counting or natural numbers. So that would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we see naturally, right? So we might say, well, we see like this is a terrible little picture. Let me see here. Oh, there is one cat, right? We don't see 2/3 or 0.75. We see things naturally. There's two trees, there's three cars, etc. So these are naturally occurring numbers, or the counting numbers. All right, so that's what these numbers are. So we'll put this as natural numbers and counting numbers. Now, someone figured out that, hey, 0 is a good symbol to represent, hey, we don't have anything here. We're empty. So 0 with the counting numbers or natural numbers is what we call the whole numbers. Now, these are the positive whole numbers right here. And if we take the positive and the negative whole numbers, well, then we have what we call the set of integers. So -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. These type of numbers are called integers. And it is important that you kind of understand these basic subsets of the real numbers. Now, any fraction that you can create from integers, like let's say 2/3 or -1/2, any number that you can express as a fraction of integers is called the what? Well, that's called the rational numbers, and the symbol for that is a Q. Okay, so you might be confused about that, but that's what it is. And then we have the irrational numbers, which are numbers that you cannot express as a fraction on the fraction of integers. Okay, so that's just a quick review of the real number line. And that's important for those of you to understand, but really that's not going to be totally relevant to our problem. So now let's go ahead and talk about distance. So here is 2 and 4. Now if I asked you what is the distance between 2 and 4, what you want to do is think of this distance in terms of like a ruler or maybe like a tape measure, right? So when you measure, you're going to be measuring in what? In positive units, right? Your room, for example, is not going to be negative 15 feet long, right? So when we measure, things are in positive units. Now you might be saying, hey, Mr. YouTube Math Man, you can have negative units. Well, negative, or except negative distance, excuse me, negative distance typically is kind of basically indicating direction. Let me show you a simple example because some of you may be confused. So let's suppose, let me do this like this. Let's say this is the ocean and we're at sea level. So that's 0 feet. Now here's our little ship up here, okay? And let's say there's an airplane flying up in the sky, and that's going to be above the 0 feet. So maybe that's flying at 1,000 feet. So this would be a positive number. But maybe we have a little submarine down here, and it's under 0. So maybe it's at negative 200 feet. So yes, indeed, you can have negative distance, but that generally indicates like direction, okay? But in general, okay, distance is going to be a positive number. All right, so kind of keeping that in mind, let's go back to this problem. So what is the distance between 2 and 4? Well, most of you out there are saying, hey, Mr. YouTube Math Man, this is a very simple problem. That is 2, and you would be correct. But how can we figure this out? Okay, so you might be saying, well, this is super easy. All we have to do is subtract 2 and 4. So maybe we're going to go 2 minus 4, right? This number from this number will get the distance. Well, 2 minus 4 is negative 2, but the answer is positive 2. So when we're calculating the distance between two numbers on a number line, it's always going to be the absolute value of the difference of those numbers. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2, but when we take the absolute value of negative 2, we get a positive 2, or we can go 4 minus 2, which of course is a positive 2. Now, 2, so from 2, okay, and we have 2 as a distance away from 2, and I should probably use a different example here because this is a bit confusing, but what number is 2 units away from 2? Well, 4 is, right? But there is another number because we can measure 2 units in this direction, right? So 2 units in this way. Well, what other number is 2 units away from 2? Well, it's 0, right? Because this distance, 2 to 0, is also 2. So, of course, we can measure that as a 0 minus 2. That's negative 2, but we're talking about the absolute value, so that's positive 2, or 2 minus 0. All right, so this is basically how we're going to solve our problem. And if you're a bit confused, about distance, well, hopefully this kind of clears things up. But let's go ahead and take the next step, which, of course, is to read our problem again. Now that we understand something about the distance between numbers on a number line, and we also understand what a number line is, well, we can simply kind of model this situation. So let's go ahead and take a look at a simple model, because the question is saying the distance between two numbers on a number line is 19. So that's the distance, right? And one number is 8. What is the other number? So if you kind of visualize this, one number is 8, and we're looking for another number that's 19 units away from, or 19 units in terms of distance away from 8. Well, we can go 19 units this way or 19 units this way. So here is one number and the other number is way over here. So how can we calculate this? Well, that is what we're going to be doing next. But before we do those calculations, we're going to do this, which is to take a quick math commercial break. Now, I definitely need your help to continue to grow my channel. I've been on YouTube, I think it's like 14 years, but that's when I started my YouTube channel. So the path, that I've taken on YouTube, it kind of looks like this, because when I started, I really didn't do much. I posted a video here or there, and, I was distracted with other things, quite busy. But it wasn't maybe until like 5, 6, 7 years ago that I really started putting a lot of effort in. But when I started doing that, guess what happened? So did my, YouTube channel started to grow when I put more effort in. And that is just the same with anything in life, especially mathematics. So if you are trying to learn math a little bit here, a little bit there, you're not going to get great results. The best way to learn math is to just really get yourself in complete immersion, and it takes time, it takes effort. All right. So if anyone's trying to tell you, oh, I could teach you one, two, three little shortcuts, yeah, they might be able to give you a quick tutorial on something. But if you truly want deep comprehension in mathematics, it takes a long time and sustained effort. So don't give up, and don't feel bad, if you don't understand something. Now, if you need additional math help, now my YouTube videos are kind of like tutorial videos, but if you really need serious math instruction in, algebra, geometry, basic math, and whatnot, check out my full main math courses. You can find links to those in the description of this video. But I have some momentum going here, and it's exciting because I'm trying to reach as many people as possible on YouTube. I'm trying to always teach math in a way that's clear and understandable, but I need your support. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can get my latest videos. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up this problem. So we know that we have two numbers that are going to be 19 units away in terms of distance from 8, because we can go from, we could start at 8 this way, we can go 19 units to the right or 19 units to the left. So what are these two numbers? Well, let's discuss the harder one to figure out, and that is 19 units away to the left from 8. So how can we kind of figure this out? Well, you could see I have the math here. It's 8 plus or 8 minus 19. But what we would have to do is we'd have to start walking backwards, right? So I'm like, all right, well, here's 8 units this way. And now I need to go another 11 units, right, to have 19 total units. So I'm going to be going less than 0. So these are going to be negative numbers. So I'm going to end up at a negative 11. So another way you can kind of think of this is 8 minus 19 or 8 plus a negative 19. So 19 in this direction is going in the negative direction. So 8 plus a negative 19 is a negative 11. So that is one number. And the other number is pretty easy to figure out because if we're at 8 and we add 19, we're going to get to the other number. So 8 plus 19, of course, is 27. All right, so don't feel bad if you got this wrong. My videos are intended to really encourage people to stick with math. Okay, making mistakes and getting math problems wrong, that's all part of learning math. I know for myself, I probably, and I'm being quite, honest here, when you're studying very difficult levels of mathematics, you struggle. It's all relative. I know, like my professors, these were renowned, top-notch math, PhDs and whatnot, and I kind of felt like this person all the time because I was learning such a sophisticated mathematics. So just because you say, "Oh, Mr. YouTube Math Man, you might be, smart in math." Well, listen, I've been doing this stuff for a long time, it takes effort, and it takes practice. So stick with it. All right. So with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your math adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.